Hi there, I'm Harrison with Ator WebTech, and today I'm going to show you guys on how to deploy build automation with Gradle. Gradle is one of the king in automating the entire software development processes in today's world. So when you want to build a complete pipeline, I would suggest you go with Gradle. I want to set the record straight out. This course is made for absolute beginners. So if you're ready and I'm ready, let's begin. This is our task for today. So I'm going to walk you through how to install Gradle, which is really simple. And I'm going to give you some insight about what is task and how to define them, and talk a little bit about task dependencies. And I'm also going to introduce you about the basic of plugins and where to get plugins or type of plugins. And last but not the least, we are going to deploy a simple automation. So installing Gradle, which is quite simple. Let me launch my browser and go to gradle.org. You want to click on install Gradle, and the fastest way to do that is by using a package manager. And they have a very nice comprehensive step-by-step on how to do it. So for those of us that is working with Unix-based system, this is what we need to do. If you have brew install, just run brew, install Gradle, and you are up and running. And my recommended way of installing Gradle is by using package manager. So for those of you that wants to install it manually, you need to first download the Gradle, the latest Gradle distribution. Then you need to unpack it. For Linux user, you have a little command line to do. For Microsoft's Windows user, you need to create a directory, and you also need to configure your system environment. For Mac, you need to run this command. For Windows, you need to set your system variable, and it's very easy. In order for you to verify that you have Gradle up and running in your machine, which is what I want to do, I already have it on my machine. You need to run Gradle-v, which is version. So let's do it. Let me clear this. Gradle-v will detect that yes, I have Gradle 6.0.1 up and running on my machine. So what we have next in our task, which is defining task. What are tasks? How do we define tasks? In order for me to clearly explain what task is for you, I want to again go to my browser. So I'm right in GitHub page and in a Brad Travisy GitHub repo. So this is a basic web application which is called GitHub Finder. So in order for us to actually run this application, first we need to clone this application or download it to our computer. Then we want to cd into it and run npm install. When that is done, we want to run npm start, and last but not the least, when we are ready for deployment, we run npm run build. So in Gradle, task can be written as npm install can be written as a task in Gradle. Likewise, start and run build. So when we want to automate this entire process, we need to write a task to first install the dependencies of these web applications, followed by start, and when we're ready, we can deploy it to the world by running npm run build. So that is the basic understanding of tasks. I'm going to show you how to actually put that into practice right now. So we are right here in the URL in guides.gradle.org slash creating dash new dash gradle dash build. So I'm going to walk you through this, which will take about 11 minutes, but I'm going to see how I'm going to speed it up. So to initialize a project in Gradle, so you need to first launch in your terminal. Yes, and we want to make a directory which is basic dash demo. Let me clear. Let's cd into that directory to basic. So when that is done, we want to use the Gradle command by saying Gradle init, which stands for Gradle initialize a new project for us. So let's tell Gradle to do that. So Claire, can I spell? Okay, Claire. So we're going to say Gradle, please, I want you to initialize a new project for me. So let's do that. So Gradle will do is logic behind the scene, and now select type of project to generate. I need a basic project, which is one. I want to work with Groovy script, not Kotlin, but with Groovy. So let's go. Kotlin seems like the legacy, and Groovy seems like the new type on how to write script in DSL in Gradle. So okay, enough of that. So let me select our one, and my project now I want to go with the default, and we are up and running. So let me clear. So when I ls dash la, see what happens. So we have these, and this is what they are trying to explain here. So we have, this is what Gradle generated for you. So we have the build.gradle, which we have here. I think let me do ls here, which is build.gradle. We have Gradle, gradle.bat, which is for Microsoft Windows system. We also have settings. So in here, this is the tree hierarchy, and they have a little bit of explanation here. Like what I told you, the 5, which is gradle.w.bat, is for Gradle wrapper script for Windows. The 4, Gradle W, is for Unix-based system. So it is quite easy to understand. So let's write a task. To write a task is very simple, and how do we do that? First, in your build.gradle file, define a task called copy of type copy. Note the capital letter. In your build file that copies the src directory to a new directory called destination. You don't have to create the destination directory. The task will do that for you. So let's put that to action. So we have clear this, clear, cd back to my basic dash demo. So let me clear this as well. So ls in your build.gradle. So we want to nano in build.gradle. Let's open that. So we want to write a task now. So to write a task, we begin with the keyword task. I think let me just copy from here. So you have a task with a type of copy. Then the group is, which is not even compulsory, which is custom. Then we have a description. Our description just describe what our task wants to do. So in order for us to execute our new task, this is what we should do. So let me save, Ctrl S, yes. So we have these. So in order for us to run it, since I'm using Mac OS, so what I'm going to do is to run it with the /gradle w copy, which is our tag. See what is going to happen, which is built successfully. So if we should check our src directory, we'll see my file.test. So ls, let me cd to src, and if I should ls it, we have my file.test. So with the help of Gradle, we are able to define a task. So we can have subsequent tasks, like 15 tasks, task 1, task 2, task 3, and some tasks depends on a different task, like what we talked about. So let's move to our slide. task dependencies. So what is task dependencies? So to fully explain what task dependencies is, I want to go back to our example in this. So in here you will find out that first, in order for us to run this web application, we need to run a couple of npms. So by saying npm install, npm start, and npm run build. Now you can't just run npm start without running npm install. So in other words, npm start depends on npm install. Likewise, npm run build depends on npm start as well as npm install. So that is the basic of what task dependencies is in Gradle. So task dependencies, which I already explained. So plugins is very easy to implement with Gradle. Gradle has a bunch of plugins, and whatever automation whatever continuous integration or continuous deployment you want to implement, Gradle, I'm well sure that Gradle has that plugin in their community. So they have a very powerful community that constantly writing plugins to support Gradle. So let's put that in action. So in our browser, so let's see applying a plugin. So the plugin we want to apply is actually a base plugin, which comes with Gradle by default. So for us to do that, let me launch or clear this, then cd out of it, nano build dot Gradle. So in here we need to actually specify the plugin at the top of our script by writing plugins, the ID of which is the name is base. And what our task is, we want to actually zip our source code. So to actually implement that, this is how to write the script in implementing that. So instead of this copy, we begin with by saying task, which is zip. So for the sake of time, let me just copy this, the zip task, copy, and I'm really excited of copy and paste, and I want to thank the developer for doing that. Paste. So we have this up and running. So I want to save it. Ctrl S, Y, save. So now we can run our task by saying dot / Gradle w zip. So that is the task we want to run. So let's do it. Go. So we are up and running. Now when we want to, let's actually verify that. If I should ls here, we now have a what's it called, a build. So let's cd into our build. So we're going to say cd build, and when ls here we have distribution, so we want to cd into it, cd distribution. So now ls, yeah, in our cd distribution I want ls. So now we see our basic.demo -1 .0.0.zip. So we are up and running, and I believe this help you to get started with Gradle. So what do we have in our slide next? So in our slide we actually have thank you. So I think we have the plus simple automation, and what I'm going to do is, for the sake of time, I'll come up with the next video on how to deploy simple automation. Thank you very much, and God bless you. See you in the next tutorial, and bye.